Welcome one, welcome all, and watch where you step because I'm about to drop some knowledge. My name is Flossie, and in today's video I'm going to be reviewing the M60E4 LMG available to the support class in Battlefield 4. Yes, this is yet another second assault weapon. I do a lot of second assault weapons. I can't help it, I like them. A little bit of background behind this gun. It is a Murican made medium machine gun designed back in the 1940s all the way up to 57, where it was put into service to replace the bar and the Browning. If you know anything about the whole World War era, the M1918 bar and the M1919 Browning were very important, very widely used weapons during that time, and this gun was put into place to basically replace them. Now, in order to unlock this gun in the game, all you have to do is complete the second assault assignment named Dust Devil. All you have to do for this is obtain one vehicle ribbon and then destroy 5 vehicles on Gulf of Oman. Pretty simple. Most of the assignments are pretty simple. Just slap on the engineer kit, slap on an RPG, play 1-2 rounds of Conquest Large or Rush on Gulf of Oman, and you should be pretty good to go. Now, because this is a medium machine gun, that means it's going to fire a 7.62 NATO heavy round, which means that its maximum damage is going to be 34, and it's going to drop all the way down to 25. Now, its drop-off distance is pretty standard. It's going to start at 8 meters and go all the way down to 75 meters. At 75 meters, this gun's going to do 25 damage, no matter how you look at it. But it's never going to do less than that, so it's always going to be a max of 4 shots to kill. Now, it is a belt-fed machine gun. It has 100 rounds in its belt, and a stat that you're going to notice very quickly off the bat is that it has a 570 RPM, 570 rounds per minute fire rate. Now, that is the slowest fire rate in the entire game, even slower than the U100 Mark V, which I believe shoots at 590. So, of all the fully automatic weapons in the game, this shoots the slowest. You can look at that either way. Like I said, it is belt fed. It's going to have 100 rounds, so 570. You can keep those 100 rounds for a fairly good amount of time. It's going to take a while to dump them all out. But whenever you do dump them all out, another stat that you're going to take very quick notice of is its reload speed. Now, bear with me here. This gun is going to have a reload speed no matter how you look at it, short, long, whatever, no matter what. It is going to reload at 7.8 seconds. Let me repeat that for dramatic effect. 7.8 seconds. That is the longest, I could be wrong, but I'm fairly certain that it is the longest reload time of any weapon in the entire game. So right now, already without even using the gun, we see it has the slowest fire rate of any gun in the game and the longest reload time of any gun in the game. Now, like I said, bear with me, this gun is not as terrible as it may sound to you right now. I'm going to go over the negatives and I'm going to tell you why it's actually pretty damn good. But, yeah, worst reload, worst fire rate. Now, let's go ahead and get into the recoil pattern. If we look at the stats, we can see that it has a 0.6 pull up vertical recoil, a 0.4 pull to the left, and a 0.3 pull to the right. That's fairly standard. That's not too bad as far as the heavier LMGs go. Now, 0.6 is pretty high vertical recoil, but vertical recoil is a lot easier to control. So, pretty much if you slap it on fully auto and you just keep firing, of course, the spread is going to get wider, but it's going to go a lot up and slightly to the left. And that's pretty standard as far as LMGs go. Now, a really good stat of this weapon, which is fairly surprising, is that its first shot recoil is actually a 0.5 times multiplier, which means that its first shot is actually going to do half the recoil that your follow-up shots are doing. Now, what does this mean? Well, that means that this gun is phenomenal for tap firing. Tap fire, if you don't know what tap firing is, that's just, it's like burst mode, only you do it yourself. The gun is on fully auto, and you just fire 2 or 3 shots and continuously tap the trigger. That way you can keep your recoil down. Now, if you do this method with this weapon, you will have much, much, much better results. It's fantastic for tap firing just because of that first shot multiplier. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk attachments. Now, as far as the sights go, I honestly really like the holographic sight in combination with something like the 2x magnifier. I don't really like the high magnification sights as well as the red dot or Cobra style sights for LMGs. I guess they just don't physically appeal to me all too well. And the reason for the magnifier is that it's going to be useful for the occasional long range engagement, and you're not going to really want a flashlight or a laser sight when it comes to LMGs. Those attachments typically benefit things with good hip fire like a PDW or something. And with an LMG, it's really just going to give away your position and hinder you rather than help you. Now, for the barrel, you could use a muzzle brake due to the fact that it does have a lot of vertical recoil, but typically with an LMG, you're going to want to cancel out the drift as much as possible. That way you can actually compensate for your vertical recoil that much better. So I'd put a compensator on here. If you don't want to use the muzzle brake or the compensator, the suppressor is always a good way to go. While you are going to have a little bit more recoil, this is going to allow you to stay off the minimap, flank your opponents, and have 100 rounds to fire downrange without your opponent ever even knowing you were there. So that's useful. As far as grips go, I personally really like the stubby grip, especially with the combination that I use, which is a stubby grip in combination with either a compensator or a muzzle brake. That particularly works really well. If you don't have the compensator or muzzle brake, you may want to run with a bipod or ergo grip. Now that's just my personal favorite attachments. That's the setup that I've had the most successful and consistency with, I suppose, since I've unlocked this gun. Now, it's always up to you. You can play around with the attachments, tell me what you think is particularly better or worse about my setup. Now, I'm going to be honest, guys, when I first unlocked this gun, I used it for about 30 minutes or so, and I thought it was pretty horrendous. I played 30 minutes, 2 or 3 matches, and I was just like, oh god, why would I ever use this weapon? But when you come down to it and you play for about an hour, start unlocking attachments, it's actually pretty compatible with like a PKP or M240 Bravo. It's not that bad. You just got to learn to tap fire appropriately, pick the times that you want to reload, and get used to using it a little different than the other LMGs. But other than that, it's pretty solid. But yeah, guys, that is it for today's video. Let me know what you think of the M60. And if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, comment, subscribe. And until next time, thanks for watching, and stay flossy out there.